Welcome back to RGR Football. I'm Ryan, and this is me going rogue on the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL. And I have something special for you today. It takes a little bit in between. Once or twice a year, I get to talk to Terez Paylor, Yahoo's senior NFL analyst, and the guy that actually hosts the Yahoo NFL podcast that I know a lot of you listen to. I certainly do. And I have a lot of questions for him. This is part of a two-parter. You can see part of it over or hear part of it over on Locked On Chiefs on the podcast. And then this part today where I got a few minutes to sit down and really talk football with him. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like and the sub and the bell notification, because that's how you find out on your device. You get the notification that something like this has come up and that Terez and I are going to sit down and have a conversation. You don't want to miss those things. So I appreciate you guys checking this out. And here is Terez Paylor, Yahoo's senior NFL analyst. And welcome back. You all know him. Y'all should be listening to him like I do on the Yahoo Sports Podcast. This is Terez Paylor, the senior NFL analyst over at Yahoo. How are you, Terez?
I'm great. How you doing, man? Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here. I'm trying to move along, and I'm trying to get more perspective from people who know more than me, so I appreciate your time.
We all are doing that. I'm doing that right? Too, man.
When we look at where the team is right now, 3/4 of the way through the season, a lot of talk about Frank Clark. I just looked at his film here last week, and I see a guy out there that when you compare stat-wise to 2019, he's not that far off, but I just don't feel like he's moving. Do you see something similar? What do you think is going on with Frank?
What do you mean that you don't think that he's moving?
I just don't see him moving the same way. I don't see the same first step. I don't see him delivering power like he used to. Like, I think something's physically going on.
Yeah, typically when it is with him, there's something going on. Like, I mean, go look at game one. I couldn't believe his get off in game one. I'm like, yo, Frank Clark might win Defensive Player of the Year if he's going to get off the ball like that, you know? And then obviously at some point that started to, he didn't get off the ball like that anymore. But I know Frank loves football. And when he's not playing, so when there's a difference between how he looks in game one in another game, it's going to be because he doesn't feel great. It's not because he's not good. It's not because, you know, he doesn't care. He does care. It's because he doesn't feel great. But he's such a competitor. He finds a way to go to that place when he needs to. Like, one thing to be optimistic about to me is like that Tampa game. I will always believe he did not feel good. I will always believe that he was angry about Mahomes getting hit in the face. Mm-hmm. And for him to come out there and get those two penalties deliberately, in my opinion, getting retribution on Brady, and he can still turn it up. He did that just a couple of weeks ago, which is a sign to me that when the playoffs start and it's money time, he'll be able to go to that place again.
That's kind of how I feel too. I almost feel like because of everything so far, it's just that trigger point is going a couple of weeks past where it did last season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's okay. I mean, the contract is already worth it. Like, Chiefs fans have a Super Bowl to celebrate. Frank Clark was amazing in January last year. He's already fulfilled that contract. If he doesn't have another double-digit sack season, that contract and that trade was worth it, right? So it's kind of playing with house money here. One good thing about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl is that I don't see the kind of, you know, I've been here for a while and I covered the team since 2013. I don't see the kind of like angry, and maybe you disagree, but like people are not just, they don't have pitchforks out when stuff is happening anymore. It's just like, you know, we got to talk about this because, you know, it's a radio show. We gotta find something. But I don't feel like fans here are that worried because they've already kind of got the. You get what I'm saying? It's not the same. It takes
the edge off, right? Rain takes the edge off.
It totally takes it's not the same. Like, I feel like had the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl last year, like, I feel like there will be very serious discussions about, even if the record was the same, about what they've gotten out of some of their free agent signings and what they, you know, we'd be in a completely different place. But they won and they came back and all those guys delivered when it mattered. So to me, they didn't just solidify their legacy. They also bought themselves the benefit of the doubt for at least a couple years.
Yeah. And a lot of those guys are back. They've had to make some adjustments, particularly along the offensive line. So when you take a 30,000-foot view, like, how do you feel this team right now is stacked up versus the 2019 team, you know, in week 13?
Yeah. I have a lot of faith in Mahomes in the sense that I don't think that he'd allow them with his competitiveness to not still have that competitive edge. So I think they're about the same or possibly better, because like winning a title can do two things. Either you get complacent or you get confident, and it fortifies you and gives you a backbone and a spine. And I think they're the latter. I think like now they know they're the effing champs. I think they're willing to, I think they know it, and it's giving them some confidence. And when the lights turn on and they really need to go to that place, I think they can do it. Like, I think they believe they can do it. And the best thing about it is like, they got the best player in the world at quarterback at the most important position. Like, guess what? No other team they face in the playoffs is going to have someone as scary as him. Maybe the only team that's close is Aaron Rodgers. There's not a quarterback in this league outside of Aaron Rodgers that's going to go, that could possibly go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes at his very best and maybe win. If Mahomes plays his best, he will win. But if he plays good, there's a scenario where Rodgers could play great and the Packers could win. But guess what? The Packers got to get to the Super Bowl. They got defensive questions of their own. So I just think having Patrick Mahomes should just really just soothe people. It's like, hey, man, this guy's the best to ever do it in this city at quarterback. And he may go down as the best to ever do it, period. Calm down. We're good. Let's have some fun watching football. Team's 11-1. When the calendar turns, number 15 to be ready.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, it makes you hungry, makes you confident. I found it really telling a few weeks back, maybe it was more than that by this point now, when Tyreek actually talked about what the goal is. And it wasn't just one season. Like, the fact that they can even have the word dynasty somewhere in their head, that says confidence to me, and that they have the same trust in Patrick.
Yeah. And, it's actually pretty cool. They've got so many, like, cool things in front of them now because they won the Super Bowl and they got that monkey off their back. Like, I think because Mahomes won a Super Bowl, I think he can, it's not crazy to start talking about, can he match Brady's ring? I don't think that's crazy if he gets the right coaching. Like, as long as he has Andy Reid, like, this is possible for a while, like if Andy coaches for 10 more years, Patrick might win 4. Like, you don't know. And I think what I'm trying to say is, like, you get that done and so many cool things are in front of you. Like, Travis Kelce basically has to put together 5 more elite seasons to really get in the conversation, the greatest tight end of all time. Gonzalez really, really stretched it out numbers-wise. Like, his numbers are ungodly, right? It's going to be tough to get there, but he's got Mahomes and he'll have Reed. Like, what if he has 5 elite seasons of 1,000 yards? What if he finds a way to do it? What if he's an outlier? We can start talking about him being better than Gronk. We could talk about him maybe getting in Gonzalez. How about Tyreek Hill? Tyreek Hill's all pro multiple times. Pretty sure he's all decade. He's had some huge moments on the big stage. What if he puts together 5 more elite seasons? He's probably a Hall of Famer, right? Like, these are things. Bad Honey Badger, right? Honey Badger was all decade. Guess what that means? He's probably going to make the Hall of Fame. Like, they're playing for more than just like Super Bowls now. A lot of these guys are playing for their legacy.
And so for that, my reaction is they got to stay together and they got to manage the cap enough to keep those guys all together. Yeah,
and I think they're gonna do it. Like, God, what Brett Veach did this offseason, going from 177 to cap space to re-signing all these guys long term, is a big deal. I'm not surprised they didn't do Honey Badger this year. He's only 1 year into a 3-year deal. That should come next offseason, barring something unforeseen. And they already took care of Jones. They took care of Patrick. They took care of, Hill will be coming up eventually, but, depending on how he holds up, that shouldn't be an issue as far as, because I think there's some appreciation from Hill about being here, about the organization standing by him. I know people were like, oh, I don't know. Chiefs might have to trade Tyreek Hill. I was like, no. That was never they wanted to sign him, and they did, right? So I think he knows this is probably the best place for him because Patrick is here and the organization knows him. And they've stood up for him and, they stood by him, And so I know you didn't ask for all that, but my point is, like, a lot of these very important, like, key guys, I think they're either locked in or they're going to be locked in for now. And yeah, will they have some work to do? Yes. Like, hey, the offensive line is going to need some top 100 pick investment very soon, both at center and guard. And hey, maybe even tackle. All right. So there's stuff that's got to start coming here pretty soon here, which means they got to develop and draft well. But Brett Veach has shown you that he can do it. So give these guys a chance, criticize if you want to when they mess up. But I think they at least deserve the benefit of the doubt for a while.
Folks, you can check everything he does on Yahoo Sports. And if you're not like me and you don't already listen to the Yahoo NFL Sports podcast, I don't know what you're doing. So, Terez, thanks for all the time. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.